The life finder keeps Maev up. It was going to be a close thing.
And healing, what? Get out of, no! No!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
It's a death metal though.
Death metal into the double, triple kill.
Welcome everybody to the stream. Adjust that a little bit. So hit the right buttons. Alrighty. Anyways, we are here for some replay casts because they need to be done. We are way backlogged. Wasn't able to get any casting done this own week because it's been busy for me. So that's why you haven't seen me around. However, I'm going to try to turn that around a bit today. I know I'm kind of combining it in on the same time that NGS Rewind is going in. And that's fine if you guys miss it. I'm going to be doing things like Buff Chen versus Beast Coast. It's still early on the East Coast, so it's still early in the day, so we may not get everybody here to come and watch. But that's the thing is I'll have VODs and everything all set up on the YouTube channel, so and on here. So if you want to pop in later, take a look at it, perfectly fine, nothing wrong there. Might as well just get right to it then. East Coast Buff Chen. I don't know who won or lost coin toss, but we do know that Buff Chen is the one that ended up with the map pick. And they took us to Battlefield of Eternity. Bans on Beast Coast side was Tomb and Infernal, and on Buff Chen is BOE and Volskaya. I think Beast Coast likes to try to stay off of kind of the standard maps and take things to places where people are a little bit less practiced. It's a good strategy if you're good on the other maps. Nothing wrong with that approach to things, that's for sure. And without further ado, because I'd like to see how many I can get through this. I have a match tonight versus Spooky Ghost, which will be the last one of the season before playoffs start tomorrow. So the last moment we have to sort out our seeding. Excited. So it was Beast Coast that won the coin. Good job, guys. Anyways, I'm just going to get right into it. And of course, my overlay is not working properly. There we go. I meant to take those off. Let's press play. Get into the game. Also think I need to get sound speakers. Will improve things. So here we are, Beast Coast on the blue side, Dingy Boy on the Diablo, Monkus on the Maya, Mega Muffin playing Sylvanas, Saris on the Tyrande, RGB Fox playing the Samurai. On the red side we have Buff Chen, Little Bear on the Muradin, SBX playing Imperius. This will do. On the Hanzo, Kagatai playing Anduin, and Sosa is playing Vala. Lots of race on the side of Buff Chen. Versus a bit more macro, but you can play this style quite well with the Samurai. The whole point is this 4-man kill squad is going to pressure the other squad hard, while Samurai just clears up the objective. And it's a tried and true strategy. 4-man has to be good. They can't take deaths, and they have to be able to pressure. But if they can do those two things, the advantage somewhat goes to them, I'd say, when it comes down to the Immortal races. Especially on this first one, where they're going to be able to pop over here and kind of zone out in these two areas. And both Hanzo and Vala won't have their big stacking or repeating arrow or things like that available. So their poke on the first objective is going to be very good. So this strategy should shine early. But we're going to see Root Stun put a lot of pressure on the Diablo. He's going to have to back out here. I'll pop up the talents now. For today, what I'm going to be doing is replay casts that were after the patch. So just for speed purposes, because I need to get as many of these done as I can this afternoon before 6 o'clock my time, 5 p.m. PST, so that I have time to get dinner and stuff like that out of the way and get in and practice before my own match today I don't want to be going through the old replay stuff where I have to constantly log in, log back out, do all that kind of bullshit. Just not into it today. It's not going to happen. Those are your talents for you. Way of the Blade, Bonds of Justice is a preferred Monkus. We'll also see him go and down. Well, I'm gonna keep a close eye on those stacks, but as he says, even if you get the first stack, you can just get one. You generally get almost more value out of it than you get out of Blade Dance. I think that's arguable in some degree, but from a team fight perspective, I think he's 100% correct. Macro perspective, it's kind of hard to say because you can get a lot of wave clear off of Blade Dance. But I will point out this map in particular, you probably don't need it as much, and Pin Down definitely gets much more value. Good dive, nice follow up, good pull. Another stack is going to come in Bonds of Justice. And a little known thing that a lot of people don't actually know about Bonds of Justice is you can apply the W from Maiev to minions. And if you hit the minion and then the hero as simultaneously, you actually get the stack. And Imperius is going to lose top lane to Samuro. Samuro, I imagine, is kind of a tough deal for Imperius, as it's hard to get your single target damage on the one hero with all the clones up. And he can just kind of dodge around outside of the stuns and stuff like that. So a good Samuro is going to put a lot of pressure onto it, and Fox is, if anything, a good Samuro. The race is going to start right away, and Buff Chen is going to go for the camp. That delay is going to cost them a halftime show. And that means that they're the ones that need to be aggressive on defense here. Really, Beast Coast doesn't care. They're going to be able to just burn this down. So it looks like they're just going to go for the trade. Middle Bear is going to do what he can to put pressure on, but he's not going to get a lot done. In fact, he's probably just going to die. Yeah, Ginger Boy going to try to intercept any of his retreats. Good placement there. B is not going to happen. He's got no mana. He's dead. That's a kill. And that's going to be first Immortal, but it was burnt down pretty well. They do have good race on the side of Buff Chen. Definitely no doubt about that. Race is definitely good. So Middle Bear gets slammed around by Diablo a bit. A bit of pressure comes out on Amonkus. He's going to have to back up. But despite the low shields that they were able to burn down before the wall even went down, with Sylvanas, you can get a lot of value, and they did. They did manage to get the first port, so good stun. The follow stun was almost there, but the flip does get him out of it. But regardless, the damage comes through, and they get the kill, and that's going to be a second kill as well. So still no pin down stacks. I definitely need to go poke my head down there a little more frequently. But Fox getting another kill. But he did trade out to Imperius this time. Imperius, as he gets talents, is going to get a little harder to kill this way. Consuming Flame. Interesting. I think Sovereign Armor is pretty standard, though, but I can't remember. I think it's the heal amount? I can't remember. I don't really play Imperius, so I wouldn't. Cool hero, though. Whenever I play him in Brawl, I have a lot of fun. So Sylvanas is going to be the siege here. Full on Q build. Mega Muffin's putting the pressure in. Look how quickly that Muradin health bar just melts to Sylvanas damage, especially if you have Hunter's Mark on there. It does even more. And I actually think there was no Hunter's Mark, which is the only reason Middle Bear didn't die there. Good pressure being put onto Munkus by Sosa, though, so that's going to have to force him out. Middle Bear getting flipped over. Gingy Boy now is in trouble as there is quite a bit of damage coming out here, but they're both going to be able to peel out with no problems there. And here's the problem. I mean, you know, Fox just sits here and works on the Immortal, and as long as this 4-man stall comes out, and when they're getting kills, that's the best case scenario. So great use of APOC into Warden's Cage is going to net 4 kills. And Buff Chen is definitely on the back foot at this moment. Not a lot left for them to do here. That's going to be a full health Immortal. They don't even have 10s. Even coming here and contesting that 5v4 was still risky given the fact that it was under the opposing team's objective while they still did not have 10s. Going for a defensive kind of position, perhaps a better idea there. Oh, we're going to see Fox remain split. It's going to put a lot of pressure on the top lane, forcing Imperius to come up here instead of putting the defense on. And that means with Sylvanas, this thing's going to get a lot of pressure. Great stun coming out on Middle Bear. And looks like Keep's going to go down. I don't know if they're going to go for more than that at all. Please excuse any background noise. I do have the kids today, as I usually do. And they're going to be having fun and playing. So there might be a little bit coming around from the background, but no big deal. And I was completely wrong. Looks like they are going to go for the victory here. That is going to be the end of the game. Big 4-man stun isn't going to matter as the Immortal isn't down, and it is Vala that dies instead, so pretty killer matchup there for Beast Coast. 13-1. Samuro only death as he traded out Imperius in the bottom lane, so not even really a punishing death by much. We saw a lot of value coming out from Sylvanas. It didn't even get to 13, which was her major power spike. That's going to be that for game number 1. So just sit tight. I'll get us set up for game number 2. Welcome back to game number 2 between Beast Ghost and Buff Chen. We're going to get right into the overview and into the game. After the loss, Buff Chen took first pick, Beast Ghost took map pick. We're going to go to Brax's holdout. That's going to be essentially it. And here we are getting right into the matchup. On the blue side, Beast Coast, Monkus on the Mephisto, Mega Muffin playing Phoenix, Junju Boy on the ETC, Saris being played by Anduin. My bad. Anduin being played by Saris. And RGB Fox on the Rexar.
Systems online.
And on the red side, we have Buff Chen, Kagatai playing the Alex Straza, Thistledew on Sylvanas, Sosa on the Falstad, Middlebear on the Garrosh, and SVX playing Ragnaros. Sylvanas going to be picked by Buff Chen. I imagine that was the first pick just to deny it from Beast Coast. They do like to do pushing strats, and this is a good map to do so. But Mephisto gets a lot of value here as well. Phoenix is going to give good, nice, consistent damage. In fact, we're going to have lots of good, consistent damage. And we'll go from there. ETC, of course, to control the play. Saris is going to get pressured here. Nice throw in by Garrosh. Is actually going to put a lot of pressure on him out and doing there. He's going to barely get out with his life, but it's going to be the same thing about Sosa as well. This will do getting a lot of pressure there by all of the deadly circles coming out from Phoenix and from Mephisto there. And that's going to be the first blood to Beast Coast. Middlebear not getting stacks because he did not take Warbreaker. Spell power increase from the Shade of Mephisto. Good throw. Stun is going to put a lot of pressure on the Mega Muffin. Heal is going to come in from Anduin. He doesn't even use the pull. Anduin is generally good into Garrosh, you can kind of counter some of those throws coming out. Now it's on a much longer cooldown, but in situations where you think it might net a kill, which that was pretty close to one of those situations. But great pressure coming out from Monkus and Mephisto. ETC going for the power slide, gets the kill. Middlebear taking a lot of damage trying to hold that ETC in place to get the kills out. But with the dead Falstad, they just don't have the pressure they need to make it happen. And as we can see, the AoE damage is really affecting things as Kagatai and Middlebear both have the B. So while Falstad comes up, we're going to see Falstad make the rotation up here. And this is the kind of thing, like, they didn't have to win the bottom lane. They really just needed to out-rotate. And with Falstad, you kind of can with the fly. But so we're going to see the pressure finally come out here to stall this out a little bit. But while they do that, the 4-man's going to continue to push up here. That is kind of the advantage. Maybe you shouldn't be playing with those. And what did you do? Maybe you guys should find a different game. Lots of pressure being put on the Thistledew. Good throw on the Middlebear. It's actually going to get the kill. Lots of pressure was being put onto that backline. Look at the health bars. Alex Straws are really struggling to keep up with the damage being output by Beast Coast here. But the kill does go to the side of Buff Chen. First one in a while since the one they got in the game in the first game. So it's good to get a little bit of pressure put onto the map. Unk is going to step up, put a little bit of pressure over this wall here. They're going to try to get some value out of this big Zerg wave, but Ragnaros does an effective job clearing it up. They are going to engage here, see if they can get onto that Ragnaros, and a lot of damage did go down onto him, so they're going to press up onto this, not happy with the fact that they didn't get more out of this. But, I mean, full front wall, good damage on the fort, well is gone. And the 4-man pressure is still very rough up here. In fact, Middle Bear's finally making the rotation up to see if he can get them out of here. And they do finally back off. Hold on. Just give me 2 seconds, guys. We're going to pause here for half a second. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. We are back. Pressing play. And Falstad goes down. I think he was right up here, yeah. So the kill comes in. That's going to be that. And so is this fort. So things going from bad to worse for Buff Chen. They just can't seem to catch a break as they can't deal with this 4-man pressure.
Blue team has destroyed the fort.
You know, and I think ineffective use of the global here has been causing some of the issues. Perhaps it's best to rotate Ragnaros down into the 4-man or up into the 4-man and have Falstad offlane so that when they overextend like this, you have the ability to flank and actually put pressure onto them. In this setup here, they're not in a position where they're going to be able to get a lot done, as the 4v4 has not been working up to this point and is going to continue to not work until either they hit 10 or a certain top talent tier or spikes or whatever. Sticking Sylvanas into the off lane is not going to help get her stacks either with the dagger build. So bottom fort, having been pressured hard by the Rexar, is now going to be going down completely. That's going to give map control over to Beast Coast. They are a level ahead here. This will do, looking to back out, but instead says, okay, I guess the heal's coming through. And that's what we're going to get. We don't have any good anti-siege power coming out from Sylvanas, as he did not go Merc Queen on this map. I really like it. I don't think the wave clear is nearly as important. I guess it's good on the objective, but you have a couple ways to do that already. They do finally get another kill there on ETC. The follow-up kill going to happen onto Anduin. So for the first time in a long time in this game, Buff Chen finding kills in a way to stall out the objective. The rotation is going to come through now. Dosa is low, but he should have fly up, so we're going to see if he can get up here and put a little bit of pressure on Fox. Fox is going to stun out Middle Bear. But ultimately is going to leave. That's going to bring the global up and give Beast Coast the window they need to get down to the bottom lane. So they don't actually get this objective. 10s are now in. And Buff Chen needs to avoid a fight pre-10, but it looks like that's not going to happen. Thistledew has nothing left as he did use his E to apply damage. That's going to get him killed. He had no way up, and there comes the big roots on SPX. A great into the fray by Middle Bear to keep SPX alive, but unfortunately with the slow stun stage dive, that's definitely going to be a kill onto Garrosh, and he's not going to be able to get out. So East Coast with 2 more kills is going to reestablish control. Didn't even lose a percent despite losing 2 deaths. And that's just going to reset the map back to where we were prior to the kills that they dropped to Buff Chen. With this camp, it's going to help. Yeah, I don't think it's going to do anything in the top lane. We'll have to see. Kind of depends on a lot of factors here. It might actually turn around. It does, actually. One of them at least turns around to fight. I think that's pretty significant, in fact. In the meantime, we're going to see a 4v5 here in the mid lane. Buff Chen saying we need to get something done. Something has to happen here. They are going to do Hinterland's Blast to see if he can get the kill, but that's going to put a lot of pressure onto Sosa. He does get out. The big throw gets a big stun, and that's going to get 2 more kills off the Planet Cracker. Wow, 1 kill, and now a 2nd kill. And yeah, they're going to be able to push in this way. If this is a scary spot to be in Umbrax's holdout, I think this could be the end of the game. With 2 dead still, if they get another kill. Ragnaros is going for that fort, though. That's going to get a big 3-man stun there. And might be enough to pull this back, but no, Ragnaros goes down, and now he's in a compromised position, but it is going to be ETC that dies. So I think Buff Chen has done it. I think they've managed to pull off the save, and they will not lose the game here. Though they are going to trade out Ragnaros for this chase. Nisha doing her best to stun out Middle Bear, keep him from getting onto the rest of the members. They kind of still stall out, which is still giving them an opportunity. Would be one of those moments where a fly gust play would really come in handy, but as we have Hinterland's Blast, that is not a possibility. So, camp's going to be picked out. We're going to see just some general rotation happening here. Take a look at the damage numbers. Mephisto rocking it high, and Sylvanas picking up. Sylvanas hasn't done too bad on the stacks, almost at about 70 at this point of the game. It's pretty decent. You want to be at about 100 here usually, but Planet Cracker and the 2 meme beams coming out just on each side of the map there. Planet Cracker got good initial damage, but Alexstrasza popping Dragon Queen keeps everybody alive there. And it's actually Monkus who's sitting at a pretty low health bar now. No one really noticing him go down there, snipe at that globe. And in the meantime, we've got a big push coming in at the top lane with this camp pickup. And with that fly from Falstad, we see the initiation come out, although I missed the kill. That's going to be that. 1 more kill. 10-4, 14-12. This Ghost running a pretty easy game here, much like we saw in game number 1. A bit more pressure being applied, though, by Buff Chen in this matchup. They've done a pretty good job, but macro-wise, they're still extremely behind. 13's finally arrived, so we're probably going to see Buff Chen look for something here. Middle Bear's going to go in, but the rest of his team was not prepped to do anything, and instead, Garrosh just takes a multitude of damage with the root coming out from Monkus onto 2 targets. There is going to get 3 kills. And this is starting to look like a dire situation now for Buff Chen. That fight did not initiate how they wanted. They did have the talent tier parity, but they did not have a clear communication of engagement And Garrosh got picked apart, walking in there basically by himself, without the backup of his team, not ready to actually start the fight at the time. Bottom lane is starting to stack up with catapults. We have two, a third one on its way. That looks like it's going to be cleared out with a full 4-man. Falstad going to peek up at the top lane, and we're going to need to see something from Buff Chen here, but 16s are going to be coming in for Beast Coast. Boss gets taken. Objective is spawned. I mean, objective plus boss plus 16 Talenteer is probably end of the game. A very, very dire situation for Buff Chen here. Thank you.
A smaller batch of Zerg is headed our way. Please get rid of them quickly.
And Beast Coast is just going to back out. Lava Wave going to come through and clear out some of that pressure. And unfortunately, Alex Strazo, who was probably in big trouble there, got booped out of the meme beam and is going to live. Meanwhile, ETC takes a ton of pressure, especially from the Ragnaros, but the problem here is still it's a major wave plus a boss. Even if they wipe everyone here on the side of Beast Coast, the chances of them coming out with a victory here still seem relatively slim to me. We do see the Hinterlands Blast come out, but there's the 4 kills. Only one still left alive is Sylvanas, and that's not going to matter. The boss plus the rest of the wave is going to finish off the game. And that's it for you. Game number 2. Beast Coast takes the 2-0 domination over Buff Chen. That's going to be that. So, Monkus getting the most damage there with the Mephisto. Sosa on the other side doing okay on the fall stat, actually outdamaging Sylvanas, but both with very high death totals is not going to help team. And good soaking by Rexar. Ragnaros tried to keep up. Lava Wave, of course, helping with that. So the talents one more time. I go to we'll be back screen while I set up the next game.